at the table with some men with confidence.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of day or night, depending on where you are, where the Open Mics podcast is back on for your listening pleasure. I will open this up as always as your host. It's your boy Terrence holding it down. And this time I've got two of the mics with me. So I'm just go ahead and do my thing, introduce the peoples. Sean, how you doing, man?
Hey everybody, how y'all doing?
And then my friend here, the observer with a smile. What's up, Ronald?
Hello.
I didn't want to put you out there completely, but yeah, I figured I'd pay homage to the observer with a smile and the wild card. Forgot to use that moniker for you, my friend. But anyway, the boys are back. We're -1, but it's okay. He's here in spirit as always. And I shouldn't have said it quite that way because it's not like he's gone and forgotten and lost or something. He's just not here tonight.
He'll be back.
But he'll be back. For sure. Anyway, what's good, fellas? What's going on?
Oh, things are going good.
Okay.
Hang with it, man.
Okay. Well, I felt like tonight we should do something a little bit different since it's just the three of us here. You know, the three of us have a bond of sorts that is a little bit different. You know, even though the branches may be a little bit different for one of us, we'll allow the Army dog to tag along with the Marines this one time.
Appreciate that. We're not getting shot at, so y'all won't have to worry about finding me after I hide, right?
Look, we're used to everybody being behind us, so it's okay. It's okay.
Come in and clean up the mess.
Come in and clean up the mess, whatever. More like follow behind the leaders as we plow through everything and clear a path for everybody else, but whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna quit digging up.
I put it my way.
I'm gonna get off my devil dog high horse for a moment and drop a little conversational piece here with my fellow servicemen here. We've all served or are still actively involved, and I wanted to ask the question to the group. Looking back upon your military days and keeping in mind the status of things currently, if you had to do it again, would you?
Absolutely. Okay. And here's why. I desperately needed to leave my hometown. I saw the the trap that it was. It felt like a trap to me. It felt like my mom was always getting in debt just to basically take care of us. And I'm like, nah, there's got to be something better than this out there. There's got to be something better. There's got to be something more. And I felt like I couldn't escape while living there. And I didn't really want to live there anymore. I just felt the squeeze of, like how you get to a point in the day and you realize I haven't even left home today. I haven't even been outside today. I'm always stuck in the house. I need to get out. That was how my life felt. I needed to get out of my hometown. I just felt like there was just something more for me. And even as a kid, I dreamt of living other places. And don't think I'm crazy for this, but I imagined living in the Great Northwest, in the Pacific Northwest. And moving to the next city just wasn't enough for me. Moving to say Atlanta, Georgia wasn't even enough for me. I was like, that's not far away enough. I needed something more.
Okay. Hey,
Yes,
ain't nothing wrong with that.
I could have joined the military and kept myself local, but when I joined up and I got to a place, and the corporal sitting in front of me said, East Coast, West Coast, or overseas, without hesitation and without thinking about it, I said overseas. Overseas. Because I was ready to go.
Wow.
That's awesome. He was a
and
recruiter.
you're asking me, would I do that again? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Overseas.
Okay.
Okay.
Didn't know that last piece about the without hesitation overseas. Just, I mean, I knew you went, but I didn't know that without hesitation. Man, that's, back then.
I was between West Coast and overseas, and immediately I said overseas. Overseas.
I get that. I'm just thinking about me back then, knowing you. I'd have been like, dude, that is huge. That's ballsy. Wow. But I mean, kudos to you, because clearly it was what needed to happen. And you trusted your gut and you went for it. So nothing wrong with that. Mr. Wildcard, Sean, I see you scratching your chin. What's up?
It's probably because my answer is a little bit more complicated than, would I do it again? It's like I gotta get out of my own head. I gotta say, I can't use, all of my experience now. Like, it's like saying, would you do it a redo of what you just did, not change a thing? No, I change a whole lot of stuff. Starting probably with, because if I knew it was going to be exactly this way, if you're saying you want me to repeat this exact thing, no, I ain't doing that again. I'm not doing that again. I love the military. I do. I really do. For first of all, and it's been one of the greatest and best things that I ever really did do. So let me first of all say that it was one of the best decisions I made. I needed, I needed something. I was out there, trying to find jobs, going different places after high school. And I'll give up a little bit, my little background pass, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really even finish it when it came down to school. I did finish that, I did mine a little bit untraditional, night school, got the GED type of thing, whatever. Then I'm out there trying to grab jobs, and you know what I mean? That wasn't right. It wasn't going like I wanted it to, it was just, it wasn't that I was without a job or those type of things. It was just the jobs that I was in and getting and stuff like that were like unfulfilling. And I felt like I needed to do more than just this. And it was just, like you said, it was a struggle. And I got to that one place where I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. What's next? And a recruiter came and did his job and asked me that one fateful question. Well, have you ever seriously thought about, right? I hear you, Terrence. What comes next? But these are the Hamilton fans in this is always kicking off, right? It was always there. But I had to figure out what was I going to do, next. And since I had no idea, and the recruiter came at the perfect time just to ask me, well, have you ever thought about the military? And it was like, I've never seriously thought about it. He said, well, seriously think about it. And here's my card, and, give me a holler on, you know what I mean? And after that, when I went, I seriously thought about it, and I went back to him and said, I mean, I can't see anything to lose from sitting and going talking with him. And of course, we all know, any of us with military backgrounds, what happens once you got in that recruiter's office, right? My recruiter told a lie. We don't sing them cadences for no reason. Right? They recruit you. But I will say, from an overall standpoint, it was a really good thing. It's turned out really well for me. If I take myself, and I'm gonna give up a little bit of my age here, I'm going to do this from this way and say for what I do it again, I have to put myself in the place of being a young man with those same circumstances in this day and age. That's basically where we're going with, and giving myself the same set of circumstances.
Yeah, that's so fair. Yeah,
and in that case, same set of circumstances, just kind of made it, barely passed it through school, struggling at Burger King and Taco Bell and not quite knowing what else is next, and even those not wanting to work out, then yes, absolutely, I would probably do it again. Recruiter hit me up and asked me, do you want to consider this? And I would absolutely consider it. And I absolutely probably could have gotten talked into it, because it had, it was at that point one of the things that made the most sense for what I would, compared to what I was doing then, and what I was planning to do further, which was, it basically, put it this way: the military beat my plan of going to, try to apply at Burger
King. Hey, look, that's fair. And nothing wrong with, Burger King or anything like that, because we're not trying to bemean or belittle a job. But I get what you mean by that was the best you could come up with at the time. And this opportunity came around, being the military, and it was a more viable option. Nothing wrong with that. So I hear what you guys are saying. And it's funny that we're having this conversation, because for a change, I'm the one who's kind of a little of both of what you guys are saying. Normally, I kind of sway one way or the other, but I feel like I'm right there in the middle. Like, I know kind of what Ryan was talking about with that whole wanting to go somewhere other than where he was, feeling like where we were was the trap. And for me specifically, because where we grew, where we met and were kind of in our formative stages, was not like my end all be all. I knew that there was a bigger world out there. I knew that there was more, having come from Florida up to Carolina, and understood that, no, there's a bigger world out here. And I kind of need to get back to that. This was a nice pit stop, but I need to get back to that. And I didn't necessarily have the clear-cut guidance, GPS direction to get back to it directly, but the military offered kind of like a subway pass or a bus token to get back on that track. So I was like, okay, cool, we can do this at least for a little while, and then worst case scenario, I've stacked up some money, I can go to school and then do it that way. Yeah, that makes sense. I got you. Cool. So to answer the other half of that question, though, of would I do it again? I have to think about that long and hard, because my military experience didn't quite go the way that you guys did.
Right.
Right.
I
everybody's experience is different.
I suffered a little bit of a physical setback, and that turned into a little bit of a mental setback. Well, a lot of a mental setback, if I'm being completely honest. It was a challenge going from this young, pretty athletic, decently fit guy to feeling like part of me is now broken and I'm not quite the same physically. Even though it wasn't, a huge change, it was definitely a massive drop off, but it was more massive drop off mentally, because you guys know, military, you can only be down for so long before all the weight sets in of being XYZ. And I'm not going to use any of the terms that come with, being sick, being injured, or whatever, as an active duty military member sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
We know
one of those terms popped in the head, but yeah.
We know them. Everybody else knows them too.
But, dealing with that stigma for a while up until being discharged was hard. And then getting out and not having any tools to kind of rectify that for a while only compounded the thing. And I think I developed a little bit of disdain for that. So looking back at it, would I do it again? I don't know. Maybe not. Just because of the other stuff that came towards the tail end of it. And it sucks because at the beginning, I thought it was great. I was, excited about the Corps and looking forward to what was going to come next. I didn't have the courage to jump right out there and go overseas like Rhino did. But eventually, once I was in, I was like, yeah, I'm ready to go. Let's go. West Coast, overseas, come back, do it again, whatever. And I could see that kind of momentum building. And then I hit that wall and it changed. So it completely skewed my perception of the whole experience and tainted it a bit. So, but that's just me. Anyway, moving on. Given everything that's happened in our lives and the world has changed so much since the time that we initially joined, what would you say to a young man now who is contemplating those same kind of decisions that we were talking about initially? What are your thoughts on? Go ahead.
I think about my experience and some of the baddest decisions that I made, some of the good decisions that I made. And I would tell a young man, if you're going to join the military, fine, that's good, that's great. But whatever you do, make sure you go to college while you're in. Make sure you go to college while you're in. Get as much college as you can completed while you're in. All right. Don't get caught up in the party life, because there's going to be a lot of new people. They're new adults. That's what they are. So they're in that transition from child mindset to adult mindset. All right. You're going to have to latch on to the adult mindset and,
That's a good way to put it.
Focus on your schooling. And if you can get a part-time job while you're in there, get it and stack your chips. I had a staff sergeant that was also working in the police department. I one of our guys, Cruz was married. So he wasn't just doing the Marine Corps, he was working a part-time job as well because he had to provide for his familia, So you're going to be a young man, hopefully single, and don't get caught up with the riffraff, my boy. Be single. There's nothing wrong with that. But stack your chips. Stack them and put them in a place where you can't touch them, and don't send them back to your mom. Don't send them back there, because she might feel like, well, you're my kid. Some of this money is mine. I'm gonna spend some of it. Send her some if you want.
Whoa.
But
okay.
I'm just being real. I'm just being real. Everyone didn't have sweet, loving parents like we did. A lot of people come from struggling backgrounds when they join the military.
No,
but
I get it. That's true.
If just remembering my experience, just stack your chips. You don't need to go out and party every weekend. You don't need to go out and party every payday. Just watch everybody else go out and party while your bank account grows thick and fat with dollar bills. And don't leave stuff lying around. Jokers got sticky fingers.
Okay. Look, I feel like you said a lot of stuff in there to unpack, and I'm gonna try and get back around to it. But if I do anything else before you go, Sean, I just want to make sure I pointed out that young adult thing, man. I love the way you put that, because that, I feel like, is a great, well, not young adult, new adult is a great way to describe that transition from like leaving high school, leaving, in a lot of instances, mom and dad or whatever, and kind of forging out on your own. You are a new adult. You are kind of taking those steps initially to kind of find your adulthood and your adult way and your mindset and personality in that regard. That was spot on. That was good. Some of that other stuff, like well, I'll get back to that in a minute. Sean, go ahead. I'm not going to hog the mic right now. You got it.
Well, no, you and it would have been absolutely fine, because you probably would have been reminded that I heard a bunch of stuff too, and you know what I'm saying, in there, and then you got to get your thoughts together, trying to be like, okay, well, wait, do I want to hit one? You might would have brought it back for me, but we'll come back around for a circle. I'll let you keep it. I'll let you keep it in your head. So what would I tell a young man nowadays, a young person coming up, a new adult, like Rhino said? I like that. You know what I mean? They're new, they're young, it's 2024. Oh man, listen. So first off, I'm gonna say this about me and my whole feeling with the military, especially when it comes down to young men. I do feel like, you know, I'll say this real quick here. My absolute personal feeling is that every young man, just like in China, how they do, should do at least a couple of years in the military right out the gate. It should be mandatory, like it is out of high school, to do high school. Do high school, do 2 years, straight out, straight flat, no holds barred. But
Okay.
you know, I think that would be beneficial, you know, across the board. Numbers, those type of things, it's not even a choice. They make us do voter registration and all this you know what I'm saying? When we turn 18, we register for selective service and everything like that. You know, we do a lot of things that ain't our choice to do. I think that could be one of them, and it could just set you up to, you know, give you room to surprise yourself. However, on that note, like I said, I'll say that the US, you know, that's not how it currently is now. So being that it's not that you have to do it mandatorily, my thing would be to say is to evaluate your plan then. Because as you heard from my experience, I went because I didn't have a plan. So, and there's plenty of people. And look, don't feel bad about it. You leave in high school, you don't have a plan. You know, you don't know what you want to do next yet. You know what I mean? You're not sure if it's college. You're not sure if it's this. You're just working. You think you just want to work or whatever the case may be. But I will say that if you don't have a plan, the military can provide so much structure to get you on course for a plan. It gives you networking and resources and access to people who have done other things. You can hear different stories. Rhino said something about people who went to, you know, were doing other things while they were in the military. The military was a temporary thing. It doesn't have to be a permanent thing or something that you do as a career because you signed up, right? There's no full contracts. Just to dispel any myths or rumors. There's no 20-year, you know, when you sign on the dotted line, you sign for 20 years. There's no contracts that exist that way. None of them are 20-year contracts. People, you know, you have to option and extend in order to get there. So from that standpoint, you're not locked in to only the military when you do it. I have seen, like Rhino said, a couple of things, like he was saying about the guy doing the police force. That's a big one. If you're doing law, if you're wanting to do law enforcement, the military can be used in that case as a tool, as a very good tool, because it's giving you some training that you will get when it comes down to wanting to go into law enforcement. It'll give you some networking. It'll give you some leg up when it comes down to you come out and you want to go to the county sheriff's office. You see what I'm saying? After your tour is up and you can go. I've seen people do other things. You can take the skills that they teach you and turn it into something, not a whole lot of them. Now, don't go be a tank mechanic and then say, I'm gonna do that in civilian life. That's not the one to pick.
Yeah, I don't know too many civilian tank mechanics.
I'm just saying. But by contrast to that, if you went in the Army or the Air Force, and you were in aviation and you went and you worked on helicopters and C-130s, you would think that's the same standpoint. Take that and go to Boeing. Tell them you're a helicopter mechanic. Watch the numbers they put across the deck at you. watch the smile kick on your face when they offer you the opportunities that you can use with that. Then you tell them you did it in the military. Oh, he was in what base? And you're talking to this guy like he's a friend of yours, and next thing you know, you have a $60,000 a year job like that. You know what I'm saying? So it can be used as a tool. So I would absolutely say, just check your plan. Just to go back, you know, try to bring myself back in on time here. Check your plan. See if you don't have one, it can provide a great thing. Now, I will say this real quick before I come out. If you have a plan and you have a really good, solid plan, you feel like your plan is sharp, you know, the military, just weigh it out. It may not be for you. I'm not going to say that you have to mandatorily do it. It may not be for you. If you have a plan, and there are a lot of ways to have a plan nowadays, and I've seen some people here's the reason I say that. I have seen and known people who thought that maybe, they saw all their friends go to the military, and they thought that the military was the only option maybe, and then they didn't get there, and they were working, and they were like, oh man, but I didn't get, or they went in the military and they had plantar fasciitis. We call it, what is it, flat feet? And then the military said, right, flat feet. Military found it in medical,
absolutely,
and said, we would love to have you, but we can't take you with that particular condition. And there are the folks who felt like, man, I thought the military was the answer. What am I going to do? And they kind of struggled a little bit, but they found it. And I feel like those opportunities are better now. When I say that, I mean like plumbers, masonry, diesel mechanics, those things that are still relevant in life, and you can go to school and become, if that's your plan and you have a hard plan, then by all means, if you've got money for college, or you getting scholarships, you did good enough grades to get through school, and you're going to college and you can get it. But if you don't have a plan, I would say go ahead and go in the military from that standpoint. So I guess my answer is kind of 50-50. What do you think, Terrence?
I think your plan and answer was actually really well thought out. You touched on a lot of different things, especially that mandatory thing that you led with to begin. I have often said, looking back at it, I feel like it should be somewhat mandatory for young people, not just young men, young people, to voluntarily serve in some capacity for, like you said, a 2-year, 1-year period of life. Just, I think my perception on it anyway would be getting that idea that there's something out there bigger than you, and getting an opportunity to serve in that capacity, because it, I think, teaches, a little bit of humility, a little bit of selflessness, just kind of some good character traits, character development skills, soft skills, things of that nature, to help make a more well-rounded person. So I totally dig that and would agree with that 100%. And I'm not saying that you have to join the Marine Corps or the Army or whatever, Peace Corps, something. I just get out there, and I personal opinion. To get back on topic of the question, would I encourage someone to do that? And I think Sean also brought up a great message with having a plan and knowing what your plan would be. Military isn't for everybody. There are some people I can think of off the top of my head who are just more creative types, for example, who may not thrive as well in that military environment. I still would think that they might want to have some sort of service opportunity. That's why I was thinking maybe like a Peace Corps or something, but whatever. So it may not be a good fit for you, but whatever the case may be, know what your next move is going to be. If you do decide to go in, Rhino brought up some really good points as far as, pay attention to the people who are around you. Don't just leave stuff laying out because sticky fingers, but sticky fingers happen everywhere. So there's that. Still trying to get as much education as you can while in. Not a bad plan, because I would definitely not advise getting sucked into the military hamster wheel and just getting kind of on that role of just, staying in, and, it becomes routine. And next thing you know, 12 years have passed and you're like, well, geez, I could have used a little bit more time. I see the Johnny Manziel money sign being flashed at me right now. Stacking your paper, absolutely. That is a big one. Definitely utilize that opportunity within the military to get your money right, get your financial stuff in order, start developing that financial plan for the long term, because you know I think that's just good advice, period. Whether it's you go into the military, you go straight into a trade, whatever, having a financial plan as soon as possible absolutely is a just good piece of advice all the way around. So overall, I would definitely encourage a person to, if this is what you choose to do, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. And when I say right reasons, don't just do it with the intent of, oh, I just need something to do until the next thing comes along. Because the military is a commitment. It is a service. It is something, again, bigger than yourself. And you want to do it for reasons that may be a little bit more than, oh, I'm just doing this to get me some money to go to college. Because you may be literally asked to put your life on the line and never get that opportunity to go to college. Unfortunately, if something breaks out and you have to be shipped off or whatever. So make sure that you're aware and you're fully prepared to serve in that capacity if you choose to make that decision. Make sure that you're not just doing it as a way to kind of get away from something that you are unsure you could do, or question, well, I mean, college might be okay, but it's kind of hard and I don't want to go back to school because I've been in school. That may not be the best reason to go. It could be, but it may not be. If you're really a person who thrives in an intellectual environment, then you might just want to enjoy your summer and then go back to college. At the end of the day, just make sure, like I said, you're doing it for the right reason, because there are definitely people I've served with, I've known over the course of my tenure in the military, who absolutely went in with 100% mindset of, no, I'm here because my dad did it, my granddad did it, my uncles did it, and we do it for the sake of being able to say we are here for this country, we love it, we put our everything into doing it and want to serve for those reasons. So review your plan. I think that was a long-winded way of saying what Sean was saying. Review your plan. Sorry, I got off track there for a minute, but it just was something that I felt kind of passionate about. But go ahead, Sean.
I was gonna say, I'll just pick up and kind of elaborate, because I know I see where you're going with that as well. And, also to elaborate a little bit of what I was saying, because I kind of almost was in support, like I was saying about, like, okay, well, if you don't have a plan, then you can go and you can make it be a plan. But I understand to kind of elaborate on what he's saying. And even if you are doing it that way, when you decide that you're going to go into the military, understand that, what the military and the organization is. And it is still, once you decide to be a part of it, you still want to do all of those things. You still want to be committed. It still is about serving your country, and it's still about those things you're going to be asked to do. Go ahead and still decide to do them when you do make a commitment. And this, in my opinion, what you were just saying, I felt like could have extended to a lot of different things. I've known people who have went into like nursing, or I'm gonna go in the medical field. Why? Because they make a bunch of money. So how are you with people? Oh, I don't really like to be around people if I can help it. So you realize you're going into something that helps people.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, you get what I'm saying? So to your point, that was the same type of thing, right? If you're going to go in the military, I don't have a plan or whatever the case may be, but do understand that, you're going in the military. Don't do the thing where, what you mean I got to go overseas? What you talking about? Ain't nobody feel like getting in that tank. I don't want to do that. I came in here to get the school money. I came in here because I ain't really have a plan. Okay, understand what your motivations were getting here. Do the job once you're here, right? Do the job, and also understand that if you don't want to be in a tank, the military ain't for you. It is what it is. If you don't, it may not be the place to be. If you don't, man, people yelling all at me and whatnot.
You can be in the Navy and not be in a tank.
Well, that's true. You matter of fact,
but I know what you mean.
That's true.
I know what you mean. I'm just messing with you.
But that's true. But I understand what you were saying. That's what to elaborate on that quick point. That's what I just want to bounce off and just say. I call it in for a penny, in for a pound. No matter what you decide to do, even if you're doing it temporary, if you're going to do it just those 3 years that you're in, 4 years that you're in, and move on to something else, do it all the way with that passion. Make it the best 4 years. You gave the military, you gave it whatever, and that's whatever it is, and then move on and do something else. And whether you come out and your story when you were talking to military people is, oh yeah, man, I did my 4-year contract. Oh, okay, so you was good. Okay, you liked it, right? No, I hated every minute of it. I did it. I should have been a truck driver right from the start. I hit truck driving after I came out. I hated every goddamn minute of it, but I did it. I did all my 4-year contract. I got all my accolades, but I hated every minute.
I think a lot of people also, they join the military because they're trying to buy time. And what I would want to impress upon you is there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because you'll do it, and then you'll find something that you're passionate about, and you'll pursue that. You look at how many people that are in the entertainment industry, people who are in law school, who become lawyers, people of all kinds of professions, who joined the military. They were in the military and they served because they were trying to buy time. And in the course of them buying time, they stumbled upon something that they were passionate about. There's a lot of nurses like that. There's a lot of doctors like that. There's a lot of people like that. So don't just throw it off to the side. Don't just cast it to the side. Understand that it's just a stepping stone. That's all it is. And then there are people that join the military, and that's what they are. I am the United States Marine Corps. I am the United States Air Force. I am the United States Army. And it becomes a career for them. And they retire after 20, 30 years. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it at all. You just gotta find where you fit in and get in there.
And to your point, Ronald, like a lot of people, those guys that they did 20, 25, I got my hand raised up over here. You know what I'm saying? Right. It wasn't, I didn't go in saying that was the plan. You know what I'm saying? It surprised me. It surprised me that it became a thing where it's like, I like this. This is
it surprised me.
You know what I'm saying? You said it surprised me.
I'm in the ministry. I'm in the ministry. I thought I was going to be an actor. That's what I wanted to do.
Right.
So you never know. You got to take a step. You got to take a step. The longest journey begins with a single step.
That's exactly right.
Master Splinter said.
Oh, Master Splinter. Yes, Master sir. Splinter. Oh, see? Told you, Tony. You still here with us.
Look at you. Teenage Ninja Turtle.
But anyway, I kind of joked with it. I was like, nah, I meant that a little bit too, though, Sean. I'm surprised that you stuck it out as long as you did, because I really felt like, knowing you were a person who was going to take this opportunity and, like Rhino said, use it as a time to kind of figure out what your next move was going to be. But apparently something hit you and it's like, this is my move and I'm in. So you weren't in for a penny, you were in for a pound, and you did it. So kudos to you for that.
Opportunities, I got to say that too, from that standpoint. Opportunities presented themselves, because I agree with you. Like you said, it wasn't the plan. And we're doing all this talking, and let's keep in mind, I'll put this out there. I'm a guardsman, not even, all the way just full-time or retired type of thing. But I'm a guardsman. So you can see my mindset was temporary. I'm only going to do this, first of all, part-time. And then I'm not even committing to every day. My two fellas I'm talking about Simplify here did it every day. I ain't even commit. I stepped one toe in that mud.
Look, so you can I was trying not to go there, but okay, you did it.
Hey,
you did it.
Is, but other even within that, other opportunities presented themselves that were better opportunities than, you know, what were other places. It is what it was.
Right.
I mean, I got a chance to work a job and be military and actually hold them against each other, you know, all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm working, I'm making money this way, da 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 da. Military call. They say you need to come over here and you got to do this. And a lot of people, I was with people who got upset about that. You didn't tell me where I got to go and what I got to do. Only thing I needed to know was you paying me, and then how much. And I make this over. We're good. I got you. I got you. I'll hold this down. Tell me how many clips, and I'm up here on this tower. Got you. I got that sector right there. You know what I'm saying? It is what it was. It wasn't like they wasn't paying me, wasn't giving me stuff. I saved money, like you saying. I'm, you know, there's only but so much things you can buy and do at certain places, and you know, because you don't put me on a base somewhere where I'm limited to what's on the base, other than from, you know, in the U.S. and things like that. You see what I'm saying? But I won't get into all of that. I'm just saying, yeah, opportunities kept presenting themselves, even though I was looking for a new plan. And then the next thing I know, it'd be boom. And the next thing I know, it'd be boom. And you know, in the end, I'm winding up my full-time job and my guard thing are basically coinciding now, because, you know, unbeknownst to me, they have full-on jobs where you work for the guard.
Hey,
who knew until I got there?
Exactly. It opened up and became a thing. So that's the deal. So good for you for getting in and figuring out that was what you wanted to do and making it work. So I feel like we've been at this for a minute, and it's been a heck of a conversation, honestly, because it's brought me back to a place of being that young man again with that decision to make, and just the nerves that went into it, and the, you know, uncertainty of it all. And again, the immense amounts of respect that I have for my homie down there who said, screw it, I'm going across the water. I'm in it. And honestly, the amount of respect I have for my other homie who has done it and is still doing it, you know, that's, you know, you figured it out and you made it work. So kudos to both of you on that, man. But yeah, I think we have done a heck of a job with the conversation. Hope our fourth mic will be a little excited that we was able to hold it down without him. And was there anything else that anybody wanted to add to the conversation or drop on the people before we shut it down this time around?
Yes, shout out to all our military veterans out there. We appreciate each and every single one of you. And I want to send a special shout out to Brave One 1974 on TikTok. Hello, front, there you go. I called cadence in years.
Get him right.
Whoa. Okay. Let's go, sir.
Let's
go. Let's go.
Still there. Shout out to all of you guys.
I appreciate him doing that, because it would not have been a complete podcast without us saying, you know, to all the other veterans out there, you know, thank y'all for y'all service. I know some people say they hate to hear it and all that stuff. I never get offended by it. I'm always proud. You know, folks say thank you for your service, and I say thank you for your support. And I also say thank you to your service whenever I see folks, y'all World War II, Vietnam, veterans that came before us, that paved the way for us to do what we do and give us the opportunity to even do that. You see what I'm saying? At a tougher time than it was being in the military. Some of us actually know that. And I understand that, you know, it seems like I know they think, you know, that we are unaware of the fact that the military used to be a little bit, you know, each generation is a little bit tougher. You know what I'm saying? So some of us really know that. So thank y'all for y'all service as well. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Last thing, well, two last things I want to do. Obviously, I want to get a little barking in at the end of this for my devil dogs nationwide, worldwide, globally, and a hoorah outside of that. You know, we're going to end it with that. And as always, thank y'all for listening. Like, share, subscribe. God bless you. Good night. Deuce.
Bye, everybody.
Good night. good morning, wherever you are.